Tesla update here on the 8th. So let's do a recap of the last video I did. Everything looked great. I was calling for 230. We hit 235, and then I was looking for a retracement to 220. And what happened? The market took a huge dump on Friday, and this slid right through it all the way down to 210. Went right through this 6-hour demand zone that I had here. What I was looking for was this, like that. And I was looking at this as an A wave, B wave, and a C wave, like that. And obviously that did not happen. So that's going to happen all the time on corrective moves. You're going to have something drawn up, and it's going to invalidate, and you're going to have to readjust and figure out what it is now. And I actually love this setup now because this is looking like an expanded flat now. So what I mean by that is we got a wave up here that took 15 days. The reason this can only be WXY is because this was shorter than the A wave. So if it's a B wave, it's normally about the same time length as the A wave. So I was thinking that this was the start of the move up to here, and 230 was about almost perfectly was the 1.61 fib. So I was looking for a pullback C like that, ABC. So that didn't work out. We get the expanded flat. And what does this do now? This means this took 8 days. This took 8 days. Now we're over the A wave length. So now this can be a B wave. And I really like this setup because unless somehow this ended up being a C wave, which I think there's pretty much zero chance that it is a C wave, meaning I don't think it's this. Well, it can't be actually. Now, like I just said, it can't be because this is shorter than the 15 days. So it can't be a C wave. So this is an expanded flat B wave. That's what it is. So that means we have A, B, C, like that. So now that we know that this is a C wave, how long will it last? It could last as much as 8 days, because A and B are both 8 days. This could be, but it could be a lot shorter too. The different retracements I'd be looking at are anywhere from the 0.61 fib to all the way down here to the 1.61 fib at 185. Let's just see how much of a retracement. Since we're doing A and then B, let's look at the retracements from the A wave now. So we know that this came down to the 0.5 fib. So it is possible it could come all the way down here to 190. That's the 0.78 fib. I wouldn't expect it to go anywhere farther than that though. 190 is probably the max. So I can pretty much eliminate the 1.61 fib. I don't think that's going to happen. So I would say anywhere from 190 to what I said originally, which was 214, which is obviously already passed. So we're looking anywhere from bottom on Friday all the way down to 190. So that's a $20 range it could bottom in. So now we can look at the demand zones. Now we have a weekly demand here, and we have a 3-day demand here. So I would expect it probably to not break below this demand zone because there's a bunch of moving averages in this zone. So now we've narrowed it down to 190, 478 to 208. So that's a $14 range. So now let's look at the moving averages. And the one moving average that we are actually still above is the 200-day moving average here at 203. So 203 is definitely a viable target. You got a gap fill here at 201 as well. If that were to break, then I would be looking at this weekly, I think it's a 20-day, at 200 as well. So those moving averages are going to be pretty important, but even if they break, this is weekly demand as well. So basically this big box, 190 to 208 is where I'm expecting to hit. but probably somewhere around in here. So now the next step that I can look at is where are we at on the waves now. And I went over this when I was flying, and it's kind of sometimes these are rough guesses when it gets down to the 3-5 minutes or whatever, but this is what I got. 1, 2 up here. You can only see it on the 1 minute time frame because there are no really good waves for a second wave. I have 3, 4 here, and then I have an extension on the 5th wave. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Potentially the 3rd wave hasn't even ended on this yet. Remember I said that it can go all the way down here to 190. So I think if you zoom out here on the hourly, 1, 2, let's do the 30 minute. So red, green, all red. Is it possible that this is the 4th wave right here? Yeah, that's possible too. Again, this is kind of guessing because there's no green bars. So what I do know though is this last move right here basically just hit the 1.61 fib. And you can see here it broke the parallel line. So I think this is a 3rd wave right here, some kind of 3rd wave. So I'm at least minimum expecting this to probably bounce and come down here to 208 into that 3-day demand zone. If that's a 4th wave, then that would be the bottom right there. But if that's a 3rd wave, then we bounce and we go lower. So I don't think that this is going to sell off early in the week. Maybe a little bit of red, but I'm guessing there's going to be a bounce probably early in the week in the market, and that's going to be a bull trap. And then we're going to get more weakness maybe into like late Monday or early Tuesday. Gap fill at 201. I would probably say that would be my target. You got the 200-day moving average around there. You have the 20 on the weekly around there as well. And you have a gap fill. I don't see any reason for it to go lower than that. So overall, that would be a retracement of... So basically, I don't expect it to go past the 0.61 fib. But there is always a possibility that you get more market weakness and it goes down to 190. So this is a buy the dip situation because this is one of my favorite setups here. I love expanded flats because this tells me that we are just having a C wave down. It can't be a 5-wave move. If it's a 5-wave move, well, this can't anyway because it's a corrective move, but this broke the high, so it can't be this. But we're getting an impulse move down. So let's just say this, I ended up being wrong, and this ends up being the 1st wave down. Even if that were the case, then you're still going to get a retracement back up here to 216 to 220 if it goes all the way down to 200. So for all those reasons, I'm really, really bullish, and but it could come down to 190. So anywhere in this zone is possible. Watch that $200 gap. And then after that, what's going to happen? We should be getting this. Let's measure where the gap fill is. The gap fill up here is 246. If that were going to hit, maybe this comes down to 197. So 197, 200 doesn't make a lot of sense. Or not 200, 190 doesn't make very much sense because the minimum target would be below the gap fill. So I think anywhere from breaking all this down, putting it all together, I would say anywhere from like 196 to 202 makes the most sense for me for a bottom. 208 is probably a little bit too shallow. I think everyone that bought on Friday, they're going to try to shake them out. So I think 196 to 202 is a good spot. 200-day moving average, 20 on the weekly. And then what's going to happen after that? We should be getting a impulse, or it could be an ABC move too, but impulse up here like that. And this should probably end on Tuesday, so let's just go ahead and maybe Monday. So I would expect to top out potentially by like September 25th. Yeah, September 25th, potentially topping out. This is a viable supply zone, and you got this daily supply zone up here. How long would that be? That would be about 16 days. Take all this together, it's been about 31. And look at that, it's been about 32 days. 15, 8, 31. Be 32, 33 days. Usually the C wave is about half that time length. 16 days takes us to September 25th and takes us up here to like 245, 250. So that's pretty much as detailed as you can get with these waves, and broke down the levels for you. This is a buying opportunity down here. You have robo-taxi too, and I think that might be able to keep it up a little bit longer, but you might get something like this. I don't think this is a 5-wave move. You might get something like this, ABC, and then after that into the robo-taxi, or like some kind of pullback in the market like this, and then a retracement into robo-taxi, and then a sell-off is what I'm expecting. So I'm not expecting robo-taxi to be a bullish event, but if we get something like this, let's say we get a move after we bottom here, and it just goes like this. Depending on the time frame, I don't know how long that would take. Into the robo-taxi event, we get a move like this, and then we get a retracement, maybe like this, into early October. I would be very bullish if that happened. But right now, I'm expecting it to be a C wave up here to 245, 250, and then more weakness after that. The overall target after that is probably going to be down here at 160, like I said. Let's just do, yeah, so probably down here. I think it's going to be a big sell-off. The overall market's going to sell off. I think Tesla can go all the way down to 160. There's a gap down here actually at 145. That'd be kind of crazy. But let's look at where the retracements are on this. We hit the 0.61 fib. So there's a chance I'm wrong and we are starting to move up. But I'm not going to bet on that. I would bet on the retracement. Maybe the 0.78 fib. It's right around 160. So that's it for this video. That's a very detailed breakdown of what I'm expecting. Went over everything for you. Hopefully that helps out. Leave me a comment, like, subscribe for more updates. If you haven't decided to join the membership that I have on the channel and you think that I'm helping you out, please give me some support. It's like $3 a month or something like that, and just helps the channel grow. Anyway, that's it. Good luck trading this week. More videos to come later in the day.